Hey everyone, we are here at SHOT Show 2024. I am with a local to me guy here with John Sharps of Sharps Brothers. We're here in front of the part that you guys probably are aware of when it comes to Sharp Brothers. We got a whole lot of stuff you're maybe not as familiar with that I think is really cool and worth taking a look at. So John, why don't you kind of walk through what everyone already knows Sharps Brothers for?
Well, I mean, we made our name in the business, I guess, by being a love 'em or hate 'em type business where we started machining in face designs into lower receivers, and that really is what the business was built on, was bringing some uniqueness to the AR-15.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those eye-catching things. I know when I was still working at the gun store, we had a lot of customers pick these up, and every time they'd come in, they'd be like, yeah, I took this to the range, and everyone would come over, hey, what's that? What do you got there? And I've also seen, for like those of you who do Cerakote out there, some really cool work done with the different, like with the skulls. A lot of times you'll see like the whole bone look to it. But I've even seen people do them up as sugar skulls, and it looks really cool too. But a lot of potential here, and just again, this has been their bread and butter, the stuff that you guys have seen before. But let's move on to a different type of firearm and show you guys some other cool stuff that they've been working on. So now we're on to an area that some of you might be familiar with, but something you guys have still been doing for a little bit, and that's going to be your AK receivers with like the MB47. Walk us through your receiver line for AKs.
Okay. Each receiver starts life as this 15-pound block of steel. And out of that steel, we're machining this receiver here. And then we sell this receiver to a lot of large name builders, really well-known AK builders in the industry. Meridian Defense builds this Volk rifle off of our MB47. This MB47 is a 5.56 NATO built by Lee Armory. I have this one out to showcase its capabilities. I don't know if this is on the camera or not.
I would pull it up.
This is a 458 SOCOM AK, built off our MB47 receiver. Uses Circle 10 5.56 mags. It was made by Tony Rumor of Tromix. And then new for this year, we have begun selling the MB47 to Century Firearms, and they're going to release this model around April. So they've got one on display as well. It features US Palm furniture. They've got a brand new rail that they're using on this AK only, a new muzzle device they're using on this AK only, Ultimac rail, and this scope mount is unique as well.
Yeah, and I mean, as you guys can see, you're not just getting into AK-47 style. You can do 5.56, you can do 5.45, you can do stuff like 458 if you want to get really crazy with it. But you get a lot of really nice features over your standard, even milled lowers out there with M4 stock adapter built in, so you're not having to worry about welding or bolting anything in or drilling anything out. You've got QD slots built in, at least on this, I guess on all of them.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of good parts compatibility and a lot of those upgrades that you see some people do some at-home gunsmithing to try to make work when it just works with this. Now, what kind of furniture are these receivers going to be compatible with as far as AK
Well,
furniture?
really any stamped furniture or milled furniture. We designed it so that it would take either.
Okay. Yeah, so you're not limiting yourself by getting only something that's Mac 90 compatible or something like that.
Or you don't have to only look for milled components, you can look for stamped components as well.
And standard AK fire control groups will work in here.
Yep.
So, most of the aftermarket ones will. Some of them require fitting, depending on what company you're looking at, but they're going to require fitting on any gun. Standard AK safeties, all that stuff is going to be directly compatible with this.
Yep.
So, okay, we've talked about ARs, we've talked about AKs. Let's get into something that most of you probably have not seen yet from Sharps Brothers. So here we are in front of something that most of you might have seen before, but maybe not in this configuration. So a lot of what we have here are the TC, like single shot break action pistols / rifles. What made you decide to get into this market?
Well, I grew up hunting on these single shot platforms. They're really fantastic to hunt with. This is a Thompson Center Contender. This is an Encore. They've been around since the 70s. They're break open action. There's a ton of different barrel options. You buy one receiver and you can swap out the barrels. Yep. So they're great for hunting, especially if you have that one good shot mentality.
Right.
They're very lightweight, easy to carry through the woods. I even used to carry it in a big shoulder holster. But we wanted to offer a grip that had a rail interface for the Thompson Center line. This is actually an SSK 50 receiver. And this is a 44 mag suppressed,
nice.
so this one's fun, but you can hunt with this. We also offer it for the CVA break open actions. So that's CVA is in business now and sells a ton of these break open actions, but with traditional stocks.
Right.
And so if you want to go with the brace, or if you want to go with a folding stock of some type, we now offer these grips with rail interface that allow you to do that.
Yeah, and as popular as these styles of guns have been, they haven't had a huge aftermarket, like other than barrels and caliber conversions. I had never seen any scouts or the contenders or anything like that that allowed you that Picatinny interface with an AR pistol grip to make it a little bit more utilitarian. And I mean, having a little subsonic round out of a single shot with a can on it like this guy,
Yeah.
you can have a lot of fun without bugging your neighbors either.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are with their Heatseeker line. This is something that's only come out in the last couple of years, and I think really been hitting the market, and you've been hitting the kind of important platforms out there. You've got Ruger American, you've got the Remington, but you've also got some other options now in the Heatseeker line.
Yeah.
What do we got up here to start with?
So new for this year is both a Ruger Precision Rimfire chassis and the Ruger 1022 chassis.
So still compatible with the 1022 pattern magazines.
Yeah, drops in, especially this is like drops in 2 screws, slide the handguard on, fully free floats the barrel.
Yeah.
You can see the barrel nut here. So the RPR is a little bit like the AR-15 with the way they have that barrel nut, and we wanted to give precision shooters, there's a lot of precision 22 long rifle shooters, a platform that you guarantee that barrel is free floating.
Right.
And then offered a bunch of options for, we got M-LOK on all sides, so you could put an Arca rail or any other type of M-LOK accessory you would like, and choose your stock of choice as well.
Right, and so again, AR pattern stocks, and a lot of times guys want the adjustable cheek height, but because of where you have this located, you don't even need that like riser.
Yeah, typically I don't know if you can see this guy, if I use medium height, if you use medium height scope rings, I sometimes will add one of these 1/8 inch pads here. That's all the scope height I would, or cheek height rise I would need. But there's plenty, if you want more cheek height, there's plenty of AR stocks that have that.
And one thing worth mentioning, especially with like the big heavy barrel that's on these guys, with that free float handguard, you still looks like have plenty of standoff, so you can actually use the M-LOK without it touching the barrel and kind of nullifying the free float aspect of it.
I'll put that back. So then we have the 1022 version. Last year, we have the Remington 700 short action, Savage 110 short action. This is our AR, the Ruger American Ranch option. So this one has a AR mag release in it. So this model here is 7.62x39, but any of the ranches that are 223, 300 blackout, 6.5 Grendel, 7.62x39, 450 Bushmaster, any of them that you can get an AR pattern mag will fit in this chassis. This one also has our Brazilian cherry grip set on.
Right. Yeah, the nice M-LOK section there that matches the grip handle there on the pistol grip.
Then for this one is 450 Bushmaster specific. There's a lot of folks in the Midwest that have to hunt with a straight wall cartridge and use this 450 a lot. So you get this, gives that 3+1 mag. We came out with the Ruger long action, and then so this one's in 7mm PRC, but this is 7mm PRC, 300 Win mag, calibers like that.
Yeah, so again, you've got all those great features, the AR stock adapter, AR pistol grip. A lot of guys, especially in the PRS world, are really liking the more vertical pistol grip on their bolt guns. So this gives you all the options you want, whatever AR pistol grip you want, whether you want more of an angle, less of an angle, maybe vice versa, whatever size grip, whatever texture grip. The world is your oyster because it's compatible with the AR pistol grips. And again, you can use the mags that either come with it. If you get the AICS pattern ones, you can still use the AICS pattern mags. With the AR ones, you can still use the AR pattern mags. You're not reducing any of the utility of the rifle. You're only, I would say, significantly adding to it.
Yeah. This is the Ruger. Ruger just came out with their Gen 2 Ruger American. And so this is our chassis and a Gen 2 Ruger American as well. So it's showing that. This one is the AI pattern, AICS magazine. And what I would say about the Rugers, one of the reasons most of the things we have here on Ruger is all of the Rugers are phenomenally accurate for
Yeah.
the price you pay.
Yeah.
I mean, for 450 or 500 bucks, you've got a rifle that will shoot 1,000 yards.
Yep, 100%.
And then we like to offer, you know, really well-made, beautiful accessories
Oh, yeah.
that are also very reasonable price. And
Right.
I think the two go together really, really well.
Yeah, it's kind of a match made in heaven. Now, obviously, you've got them in black. Do you have any other color options available from the factory?
Not currently. Matte
Okay.
black is any color you want as long as it's matte black.
Perfect. Henry Ford would appreciate that.
Yeah.
But now let's move on to something that a lot of you might be actually carrying every day. So if you've been following my channel recently, you know I've been carrying a P365 of one form or another for really almost the last probably 6 or 8 months. You guys have been making grip modules for the P365s, but you have some other options now available
Yeah.
in that line as well.
Last year at SHOT, we had the black with Brazilian cherry grip panels, the XXL sized grip module. These are cut from a billet block of 7075, and then we're also machining the Brazilian cherry wood in-house. We also have one that is FDE Cerakote, and then we are machining this Wenge wood in-house as well, so just a bit darker color with SIG's Coyote slide. We also launched the X macro size. This is a macro with the TLR 7A. So this takes the 17 round mag standard. The big update for the XL and the X macro this year is we updated the design to a Gen 2 model that includes steel lugs for where the front of the fire control unit sits into the module.
Yeah.
This little lug is made from the same steel that we're cutting our AK from, 4140 steel. We're heat treating it to the same standard.
Yeah.
So it makes for an incredibly robust platform.
Yeah, you're just increasing that longevity, making sure that you're not going to have parts wearing, losing that reliability or accuracy.
Hand
or
off to your
anything like
grandkids type thing is what we're after.
that. Exactly. Now, before we move on from the 365s, you guys are also making slides now for them as well, correct?
Yes. This slide here, and we
yeah,
have an
that's
X improved and an XL improved slide.
Yeah, there we go. So I know a lot of people really like with the X macro how you can get the built-in compensator on those. Now, without having to buy a new barrel or anything like that, you can drop one of their slides onto it and you get that porting built into the slide as well.
Yep.
Still compatible with the factory optic or iron sights, still optics ready. So again, you're not losing any utility, you're only adding to it.
Yeah. So we have the X improved slide, and then for the macro length, we have this XL improved slide. Both have the integrated porting. You have to take all the factory SIG standard parts, or if you're trying to upgrade your barrel to a different type, it's like you're good to go.
Sure. But now we've also got P320s covered.
So this is a big launch for us this year. We hit the XL, the macro, and now this year we're offering a grip module for SIG's P320 fire control unit. So again, this entire thing is cut out of a solid block of aluminum.
Yep.
We machine either the Wenge wood or the Brazilian cherry wood grips in-house. And then as the year goes on, we'll end up having various G10 offerings for grip panel options as well.
So are you going to be trying to cover all the different size variants as far as the grips from the compact up to the full size like this?
Well, this one will cover everything but the compact.
Okay.
And so the only other one we need to come out with is a compact, and it's for sure on the list.
Sure.
It's just like we got to start getting through it. But yeah, I expect we'll do a compact model as well.
Now, for those in like California or those who like the M18, M17 with the manual thumb safety, is that an option you guys are going to have with
yes.
these frames?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have the manual safety option for both the X and XL. And if you live in California, like the XXL size seats a 12 round mag flush, but SIG does make an XL, 12 round length
that's
mag
10
that only
rounds.
holds 10.
Yeah.
And we also offer it with the manual safety. I got one of them here.
Yeah.
This is the macro size, but we do offer that, and that's coming for this. I don't have the 320 shown here.
Sure.
But yeah, manual safety options, potentially some more colors.
Sure. Now, any slide options that you guys are working on?
Down the road,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
First launch.
Cool. So we've all seen what's been going on with how much the 365s have taken over the concealed carry market, how much the 320s are taking over military and law enforcement contracts, in addition to civilian, like hugely popular in civilian hands. Again, the more options, the better that we have, especially for those of you behind enemy lines where you can now get 320s, but maybe you can update them to a configuration that you actually want to carry around with you.
We're also working on a 10 round California compliant 365X, or just 365,
65,
yeah.
And one thing I want to mention too with the frames for the 365s, one thing that I really like ergonomically about them, for those of you with bigger hands, because of the grip handles on here, you can add some mass or add some size to it to make it a little bit more comfortable for you. Talked to a lot of guys who really love the feel of these frames, but then you've also got these little ramps on both sides of the frame, so whether you're right-handed or left-handed, it really allows you to hammer down on that pistol and keep that, especially if you're running a dot, keep the dot in the window and just keep that thing really flat shooting. It feels really nice to run one like that. Cool. So, now we've talked a lot about guns, let's move on to something completely different. So again, we've looked a lot at gun stuff, now we've got knife guy stuff. We're not leaving you knife guys at a SHOT Show, trust me. So why don't you tell us about your new knife line?
Well, available now, we launched last year, was a MagnaCut stainless steel with titanium frame lock folder.
Yeah.
And so this is a 100% US made product. Down to the screws, and I hand build all these, so I kind of backed myself into a full-time job. Like the team machines everything, but then there's like 19 parts associated with that, so I hand build all of these.
Yeah, and if you guys want, so obviously we've looked at all other cool stuff. He's got a really good social media presence. He's got some really good bait and switch videos, which I thoroughly enjoy. But he also shows a lot of time at the forge actually hammering these things out, which is cool.
This year we're launching a steak knife. I wanted to have something that, for eating steak at night and we're just having in your kitchen. So this is going to be an S35VN stainless steel. Also has a titanium handle. And then we got a jeweled Sharps Bros logo in there. You can take a close-up of that a little bit later. We have the fixed blade version of our 3.5-inch folder. S35VN stainless, titanium scales. And then I do a lot of freshwater boating and ocean fishing and diving. And so we came out with this really unique boating and dive knife. Heavy serration on one side, sharp on the other side, flat tip, also titanium scales. And then it's a highly polished VG10 stainless that really will resist any sort of corrosion.
Now, do these come with a sheath or anything like that?
Yeah, they will. These are available now. These will be available more at NRA, and we already have the sheath designed for the fixed blade, and we'll have one for the boating knife, and probably not on the steak knife, because that's going to live in your kitchen drawer, or in your on your boat or something.
Right. In your cutting block. Cool. So again, I briefly touched on your social media presence, but if people want to be able to follow the progression of your knives, the 320 line, your bolt actions, ARs, AKs, where is a good place for them to pay attention to?
Well, Sharps Bros, at Sharps Bros is our main presence. I also, just as a person, make Damascus. I forge Damascus in my own shop. So these are all Sharps Bros made knives by the team.
Okay.
But then I have a J Sharps account, just my personal account, where I've been really fascinated with trying to make Damascus steel. I figured if the Japanese could do it 1,000 years ago, like I ought to be able to figure out how to do it in my shop
with modern technology.
And I really enjoy that. So I make, but I don't sell a lot of Damascus knives.
Sure. Cool. Well, so I'll put links where I can to. I can at least do Instagram links, maybe not to their website, but Sharps Bros is a pretty easy thing to look up. Again, you guys have seen their AR stuff for a long time. You've been seeing their AK stuff for quite a while now. Seeing the Heatseeker stuff, seeing the little Scout stuff is really cool, and I appreciate someone, especially local to me, really making that effort to help fill some of these niches that have maybe been somewhat ignored or not done to the capacity that I think it could have been done too. So, John, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you for coming by.
We'll be doing a whole lot more coverage here of SHOT Show 2024, so definitely stay tuned for that. And he looks like a really nice guy, but be careful. If you see him on the jiu-jitsu mat, he'll definitely choke you out. It also didn't help that I was a white belt at the time. So anyway, thanks for watching.